Okay, so hi, I'm going to be playing Pieces of Home, which is a game that I made. It's inspired by family, friendships, love. It's just kind of a game about life in general and just kind of thinking about what makes life life. So I like this game because it's very hands-on, it's very picturesque. That's even a word, but it involves a lot of pictures and colors, and that's why I really like the game. I'm just going to explain a few things that I've written down. So, with this game, what's really unique is that there isn't a real winner. You win when you've uncovered all the tiles at least once, or when you've made your own story from the pictures and words. The fun comes from using your imagination and discovering new story pieces every time you play. So the whole objective of the game is to put the tile pieces onto the board, and then when there's the blank spot, you're going to slide a tile with a picture onto that blank spot and tell a story. So it's very narrative, it's very imaginative. This game can be played solo, or it could be played with multiple people. If I made more game boards, everybody could have one and kind of create their own story, but for this sake, we're only going to be doing it solo. So, first step, I have my game board, I have the pieces. I'm just going to put the pieces on the game board. There's no specific order. So I'm just putting them on the game board, and these are kind of like the tiles that are going to slide, kind of similar to how bullets was. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm just randomly putting them on the board. Okay, almost done. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I have them on here. The thing I really like about this game, or at least I think is fun, is that I just like the colors and the pictures. They really pop and they make me really want to play this game. And another aspect I think is fun is that you can kind of slide the pieces, and there's a lot of games that you can slide pieces, but I like the tiles. So those are the two things I think that are fun. But all right, so we're gonna play the game. I'm gonna slide it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna slide the tiles. Okay, so I'm making up a story. Maybe it could even be inspired by something in my life. So I just slid the tile. The first tile that I slid was the house. So I'm picturing like a bright sunny day, and it's morning time. It's like 9 a.m. I've just woken up, and I'm just ready to get my day started. And I'm feeling at peace, I'm feeling good. Let's say it's a Saturday, which happens to be today. So that's my first tile, is the house. So that's my first tile. And now I'm gonna slide the next tile, which would only make sense to come after, but it just happened to be a coincidence, is home. So, of course, the house is my home. It's where I live, it's where I was born, and I continue to thrive at my home. I feel safe at my home. And yeah, so that's the next tile. And then we're gonna slide another tile over. Okay. The next one is a tree. So the tree represents, I'm gonna say shade, because it's hot out and we have a lot of trees around our house to kind of protect it from the sun coming in. So the trees help, and the trees are nice and bushy and green, and it just reminds you of life in general. Okay, I'm gonna just slide the next tile. So the whole goal is to get through all the tiles. There's 8 of them. And then once I get through all the tiles, I've told my story. So I go outside, I'm at home, I see the tree, that's where I'm at right now. And then I'm gonna say that I go on a little adventure through my house, or through my house outside, I should say. Okay, I'm gonna slide this tile over here. Okay, so next I have the sun. So it's a very sunny day. I'm going on a walk through my neighborhood right now. The sun's out, there's birds. I just feel very energized. So that's the sun tile. Slide that over there. Okay. So next I have another tree. So that's my next tile. So I'm going to say that as I'm walking, I take a break under a shady tree. I don't want to get too overheated because let's say it's 90 degrees out, which happens to be what it is today. So I want to make sure I don't get heat stroke. So I'm taking a break by the tree, getting some shade, feeling good. And then I continue my walk. And my whole goal is I'm going to be going to my friend's house. So I'm going to slide the tile here, there we go. So now I'm meeting with my friend Katie. I've been friends with her actually since 2nd grade. So to think that we've been friends for, oh my gosh, almost, can't even remember, maybe 10 or 12 years. I don't know. We've been, at least for a decade, we've been friends for. So that's crazy. Probably even more than a decade, actually, now that I think of it. So I'm going to go see her. And she's in walking distance, so literally I can walk down the street and I would see her. So this story is very relevant to my own life. Okay, and then now I'm with Katie, so now we're gonna go continue our walk. So I'm gonna move the tile this way and move it up. So as we continue our walk, we're kind of talking, and then we're so engaged in our conversation, which actually happens to be sometimes. We actually happen to get lost, which is one of the other tiles. So we happen to get lost, and then luckily in the digital age, we can pull out our phones and find out where we exactly are. So we pull out our phones, we pull up a map, we find that we're not too far from home. It just looks like a very unfamiliar place. So we're not usually taking this path when we do walk. So then we're just continuing to just find our way. So move the tile up that way, and then I'm getting the heart tiles. This goes down there. Perfect. So my next tile is the heart tile. So we're just appreciating our friendship and how long that we've been together as friends, and just realizing that, you know, true connection for friendship really relies on trust, loyalty, respect, love, care, checking in with one another, especially during college. That can be a very difficult time, which we definitely have. So she's always been a really good friend to me. Okay, so moving the tile. I love this game. It's fun. Okay. And now we end up with the blank tile. So the blank tile represents that you've gone through all the tiles, and then you get to tie your story up together. So my whole story was that I woke up, went for a walk, found my friend, went to her house. We took a walk, continued to take a walk together, got lost. We appreciate our friendship. It's a sunny day. And yeah, that's my story that I created. So these tiles really can be mixed and matched however you want. Maybe it's a story you want to tell with your personal life like I did, or maybe it's a story you want to make up. It's just you keep making stories up. And that's kind of the good thing about this game, is it's not competitive, because you're just thinking. You're thinking about life. You're thinking about friendship. You're thinking about homes. You're thinking about, you know, where you've grown up. And that's why I really like this game. And now I'm going to answer a few questions that were kind of in the self-critique. So I think the backstory and the mechanics reach their best potential is when I can think about how this story relates to my own life. And this story is very, very near and dear to me because this happens a lot. We go on walks, we, you know, enjoy each other's company. So I think the backstory of just these pieces on the board helped, and the pictures helped tell the story and make it kind of come to life. And then me kind of knowing, you know, because I was the creator of this game, obviously. So me kind of knowing how I created the pieces helped kind of propel the story, and then I could relate it to my own life. So I would say that. And then what is the probability factor percentage in your game? So I was kind of estimating, I kind of took some notes down. Let me check. Let me see. I think the probability factor I was saying was between 25 and 30%. So that was the probability factor. Let me go back down to here. Okay, perfect. That was the percentage in my game. I kind of estimated that because The tile sequences create like surprising or unexpected story combinations, so that's kind of like what I was guessing, I guess you could say, my probability factor, at least estimating. And then how did the narrative influence or explain that probability? I would say just making up a story. Like when you make up a story, some stuff is true and some stuff you might add to kind of propel the story along or make it more interesting. So that's what I would say for that, the narrative. And the narrative's really, it's really true, and it's really just authentic. It's not fake. There's nothing fake about this game. There's no like phones, tile boards, or like games. It's just authentic real life stuff. So I would say that would be the narrative influence. And then I had fun personally with this game. I actually talked about that at the beginning, but I would just say I just love the colors. I have to say that. I love the colors. I love how the game slides. That's how I had fun. And then when did the player get caught up in the story? I would say between my friend at the park and then kind of how we got lost. I would say I kind of got caught up in the story because I was like, wait, where were we again? And then I just kind of had to regroup myself that we were taking a walk through the park. So that's what we did. And then just kind of remembering that day, how it went, or remembering that time, I would say. And then how deeply did the player actually feel immersed? I think I felt really immersed in this game because it was very organized. The directions were pretty clear. It was not really confusing at all. Anybody can play this game. It's for all ages, probably kindergarten and up, I would say. So that's that. And then let's see. How could you improve immersion in the future? I would say I would definitely make this board a lot bigger. I have a 3x3 grid. I would probably make it maybe a 4x4 grid, maybe possibly a 5x5 grid, and then I would have more story. Like I would also add more tiles to the board, which would be pretty cool to do. Like I could maybe add like her family, my friend's family, or maybe an object that means a lot to her. So I could definitely do that. I think another thing to improve the immersion of the game is I probably would have made the board on like a cardboard piece. Would have been a little bit more sturdier than paper. I didn't have cardboard, but I probably would have did that as well. That way the board, like turning the board, even if you were playing with someone, you could easily turn it. The paper kind of gets a little loose, but yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that. And that's pretty much all the questions that were for the self-critique. Of course, I'm going to type it up, but I have to put timestamps, so I have to mention it in the video. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and yeah, thank you.